How to respond when she pulls away. Silence, power, and self-mastery. Stoic Bloom, Part 1. The weak instinct of men when abandoned. You once thought she pulled away because she stopped loving you. But what you didn't realize was this might be the greatest opportunity in your life to turn the game around. Most men respond the wrong way. They text endlessly, rush to cling, and lose themselves in the process. But the most powerful thing you can do is to do nothing at all. In this video, Stoic Bloom will show you not only how to navigate this challenging distance, but how to turn it into leverage to reclaim your power, attractiveness, and most importantly, your self-respect. And it all begins with silence. Before you give up on a woman, pause. Stop before you send another message, before you ask, "Are you okay?" Or before you convince yourself that it's over. Because if you truly understand what's happening, you'll know this is not the end. It's the beginning of a man's most powerful transformation. She loves you through how you respond to adversity. When you radiate control, not control over her, but control over yourself, you show her something that very few men possess: inner value. And that is exactly what we'll explore in this video. How you don't have to say a word, yet you can still make her question her decision to walk away. How you don't have to chase her, but still make her want to return. It all lies in silence, steadiness, and self-elevation through the Stoic mindset. When hurt, the first human instinct is to react. But the true strength of a man doesn't lie in how he reacts. It lies in his ability to choose not to react. That's the spirit emphasized by Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca. Power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering oneself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, be strong, not because you must prove yourself, but because you are no longer manipulated by anything. Epictetus, welcome to Stoic Bloom, not where you learn to hold on to a woman, but where you learn to hold firmly to yourself. Part 2, Why She Pulls Away, the silent test. You think she's pulling away because she lost interest? Maybe. But that's just the surface. Behind a woman's sudden distance often hides a test, silent, invisible, and razor sharp. She won't say it, she won't blame you. She simply pulls back. Fewer texts, colder responses, no more sweet words or questions about your day. You feel like you're fading from her world, and panic sets in. But that moment is the greatest test of your character. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she's testing you. Is this man truly strong or just a boy panicking when abandoned? Most men react immediately. They text nonstop, demand clarity, try to make her remember the good times. But the more you chase, the more predictable and replaceable you become. A woman is truly drawn to a man's emotional steadiness, especially when things start to drift. She doesn't need a man who explains. She needs someone solid enough not to panic when he feels he's losing control. There's a line left behind by an emperor. If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your perception of it. In that moment, she doesn't want answers. She watches your reaction. And when you respond with silence, calm, and by refusing to let emotions dictate your behavior, you're sending a powerful message. I am not moved by anyone, not even you. A philosopher once warned, never let someone else's emotions become your actions. That is real attraction, a silence with weight, an absence that makes others wonder. When you stop speaking, she starts thinking. And in the time you use silence to grow stronger, elevate yourself, if her feelings are still real, she'll return. Not because you begged, but because you became worthy. As another wise voice once affirmed, steadiness is not forged in peace, it is shaped through challenge. You're walking with Stoic Bloom, not a place that teaches you how to hold on to a woman, but where you forge the strength to never lose yourself. Part 3, the golden rule, not acting is the strongest move ever. Notice that when you stay silent, the world suddenly gets loud. She starts thinking, others start asking, and you somehow seem stronger than ever. That's no coincidence. That's the essence of the golden rule every Stoic man understands. Not acting is the act that carries the most weight. When a woman pulls away, a man's instinct is to do something to pull her back. But the more he does, the more he loses. Women don't feel love through clinginess. They feel it through distance. Your constant presence makes you ordinary, but your timely absence makes you a question in her mind. And when you don't seek her out, don't react, don't send another message, you're leaving her alone with her real feelings. As one Stoic master once put it, you don't control what happens, but you always control how you respond. When you choose silence instead of resistance, retreat instead of desperation, you reclaim your position. You become unpredictable, irreplaceable, unforgettable. Attraction comes from not needing to prove anything. You know your worth, and you let others feel it through your absence. A Roman emperor once wrote, "True strength is keeping your mind steady in the storm, not ruling the world outside." And through your stillness, she begins to see, you are not a man to be tested. You are a man to be kept. Remember, you don't need to chase anyone. You only need to walk slowly enough for others to realize what they're losing. Welcome to Stoic Bloom, where silence is forged into strength and where you learn to walk steadily, never needing anyone to return. Part 4, when she comes back, don't fall apart from hope. She won't come back with a clear apology or sincere remorse. It might just be a short message. Hey, a random comment on your post, or a passing glance in a familiar space, and you'll find yourself at a crossroads. React as before or move forward as the man you've now become. Most men, after waiting in silent despair, will immediately jump at the chance, open their arms wide, and revert to who they once were. Too eager, too predictable, and once again, easy to leave. Don't let hope destroy the growth you fought so hard for, because when you react too quickly, you unintentionally send the message, you still control my emotions. But a Stoic man understands, her return doesn't guarantee reconciliation. It may just be one final test. One ancient voice once warned, don't cling to something that returns if it comes only to test you again. If she does come back, let her feel that you're no longer the man who once reshaped himself to fit her feelings, but the man who now stands with clarity, principle, and self-respect. Don't reply immediately. Don't make plans too soon. Stay who you are, calm, steady, grounded. If her feelings are real, she'll be patient. If not, her absence is simply a necessary part of nature's filtration. A philosopher king once recorded in his notes, embrace what happens as if you had chosen it. That is the path to freedom. Accept her return, but without hope, without expectation, without dependence. Let your actions speak for you. You are no longer the man she once knew. You are the upgraded version, and only those truly worthy get access now. You are walking with Stoic Bloom, not a place where the past breaks you, nor where hope deceives you, but where you rise no matter what or who returns. Part 5, emotional detachment, the Stoic man's greatest weapon. There's one thing that makes you irreplaceable in her mind, It's not money, it's not looks, it's emotional independence. When a man can separate emotion from reaction, he becomes someone who cannot be manipulated. Women sense very quickly who is emotionally dependent and who is in control. When you stop texting for validation, when you no longer act based on what you think she might be thinking, when you can sit still, carry on with your life, and stay focused, that's when you truly step into the role of a grown man. One ancient Stoic advised, "Don't let your soul be pulled by things you cannot control. Stay anchored in yourself." When you stop trying to make someone come back, you give them no choice but to look back. Your silence is no longer emptiness. It becomes a statement. You don't need to prove you're strong. You just need to not be controlled. What makes you special is not that you don't feel, but that you know how to place your feelings in the right place. A Stoic man doesn't suppress emotions. He simply refuses to let them dictate his direction. He loves sincerely, but does not cling. He cares, but doesn't lose himself. He can feel pain, but he never collapses. As another timeless insight goes, a peaceful soul is one that does not rely on others to feel worthy. And that is you when you understand if she leaves, you are still you. If she returns, you are still you. And if things don't go as hoped, you still stand because you never truly fell. We don't help you win a relationship. We help you win yourself so no one else can defeat you through your own emotions. Part 6, if she doesn't come back, it's a release. You've stayed silent. You held your ground. You didn't react, didn't beg, didn't lose yourself. And then no message came. No sign of return, no hint of regret, just a long, stretched silence. And in that moment, you might feel disappointed, but stop and look deeper. What if this isn't a loss, but a release? Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, taught, "What hurts you isn't the loss of others, but the belief that you need them to feel whole." If she doesn't come back, it doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It means she wasn't wise enough to recognize your value or ready enough to grow alongside you. Life has its own way of filtering what no longer belongs. Those who aren't truly meant for you will find a way to leave, one way or another. And your job isn't to keep them, but to let them be peacefully. When you're no longer dependent on outcomes, you begin to experience real freedom. Not because you forgot someone, but because you realize you never needed them to be complete. As Marcus Aurelius affirmed, love whatever happens to you. It does not come to harm you. It comes to guide you back to the path. Maybe this departure is the best thing that ever happened to you because it forced you to grow, to become stronger, to learn how to love yourself before loving anyone else. Don't let your mind get trapped in questions like, why didn't she choose me? Instead, ask, how can I become the kind of man that, even when abandoned, still leaves others full of regret? Let her absence be the gift that makes you grow, not because you need to prove anything, but because you deserve the deepest kind of peace, the kind where no one else determines your worth. We believe that losing someone doesn't make you lonely. It brings you back to yourself, stronger, deeper, and irreplaceable. Part 7. When you level up, she won't be able to forget you. You don't need to make her remember you through texting, subtle status updates, or forcing your presence into her life. The way to make a woman never forget you is to become the man she'll never find a second time. When you go quiet, stop chasing and stop reacting. You create a space, and if within that space you level up, you begin to walk into a realm that few men ever dare, becoming the version of yourself that's irreplaceable. Work, upgrade your appearance, read, build your career, learn how to live alone without being lonely. Make every day a declaration of self-mastery and resilience. As one great Roman once said, "Don't waste time debating what a good man should be, just be one." When you focus on becoming a man you admire, she will feel it, even from afar. She might look back, she might compare, and even if she never says it out loud, in her mind, you've become a benchmark. Every man after you will be measured against that. And here's the brutal truth. Very few can offer the same sense of safety, strength, and depth as a man who has endured pain without losing himself. Another wise mind once wrote, "There is no greater triumph than conquering yourself." When you reach that state, you no longer need anyone to regret losing you. You become the one that no one forgets. We don't teach you how to win someone back. We show you how to become the kind of man that once lost can never be replaced. Part 8. Let silence be your loudest voice. You've walked through it all, the emptiness, the waiting, the silence, and even the moments of doubting yourself. But if you're still standing calm, clear-minded, and unshaken, you've already arrived in a realm most men never touch, true inner power. Now, you don't need to say anything. You don't need to text, to explain, or to prove anything at all. Because your silence has become the clearest declaration of your strength. Some battles require no noise. Some affirmations need no words. And some presences, when absent, become unforgettable. The man who stays still in chaos, who doesn't beg with words but anchors himself in peace, that man is truly irreplaceable. A Roman emperor once wrote in his journal, "Strength lies not in reaction, but in the power to choose your response." And when you choose silence, you're already walking the path of the wise. Not because you're trying to seem noble, but because you've realized attraction doesn't come from chasing, it comes from being steadfast enough for others to turn back on their own. She might return, or she might not, but that no longer matters. What matters is you didn't lose yourself. You grew not through promises, but through action, not through outcomes, but through the process. And if one day she remembers, the only thing left lingering will be the image of a man who never fought to reclaim anyone, yet became impossible to forget. We don't teach you to wait for someone to come back. We offer you the one thing you truly need, the power to move forward without leaving yourself behind. If this video does something deep within you, if it reminded you of your worth, your power, and your ability to stand tall even when the world turns silent, then don't let this be the end of the journey. At Stoic Bloom, we don't just create content, we cultivate men. We help you reconnect with timeless truths, build emotional mastery, and rise from rejection not bitter, but better. Our videos are crafted to guide you through heartbreak, self-doubt, and the silence that follows when someone walks away. But more importantly, they remind you that strength was always inside you. You just needed to remember it. So if you've ever felt lost after a woman pulls away, if you've struggled with what to say, how to act, or whether to wait, this channel is for you. Leave a comment below. What part of this message hit you the hardest? Like this video if it helped you take your power back. Share it with a brother who needs to hear this truth. And most importantly, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another reminder of your strength, your clarity, and your worth. This isn't just about relationships. It's about reclaiming your life, one decision at a time. Starting with silence, starting with self-respect, starting with you. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom now, where modern men return to ancient wisdom to forge unshakable resilience in love, life, and leadership. Stoic Bloom, where philosophy meets the heart. To understand others is art. To understand yourself is wisdom. To act at the right moment is virtue.